What is going on, guys? It is Caleb Tufts. We're back for episode, well, technically our third episode, but our second episode of seasons in review. Of and we are on MMPR season 2. I'm of course joined by my fellow Rangers, Paul. Paul, what's up?
Glad to be back doing another episode of Sentai Nerd Ranger. I'm loving this show so far.
All right, absolutely, and also Mike. Mike, welcome back.
Glad to be back. I'm glad to talk some more MMPR.
I want to apologize for last week. That was my fault. I've been doing a lot of closings on Monday, so I've been really tired on Tuesdays. But I didn't work yesterday, so we're good. Yeah, so MMPR season 2. I believe it's a vast improvement over season 1. So we will definitely do a deep dive. And just like last week, we're going to, of course, cover our Rangers first. There was quite a bit more in this season than there was before. So I'm just going to list them off, and then I'm going to come to my guys and have them give their thoughts on them. Okay. So first we had Jason Lee Scott again played by Austin St. John. Trini Kwan played by Thu Trang. Zach Taylor played by Walter Jones. Kimberly Hart played by Amy Jo Johnson. Billy Cranston played by David Yost. Matami Alvo played by Jason David Frank. Anyway, Rocky DeSantos played by Steve Cardenas. Adam Park played by Johnny Young Bosch, and then Aisha Campbell played by Karen Ashley. So that's who we had this season. Of course, we had the changeover of our red, black, and yellow Rangers, and of course we'll get into that. But coming to you, Paul, first, give me your thoughts on all of our Rangers and and everything. So,
I think season 2, instead of it calling it instead of being called Mighty Morphin Power Rangers season 2, I think it should have been called the Tommy Oliver Show featuring the Power Rangers, because this guy was like the center focus of basically the entire season. I mean, the whole first third of it was basically a soap opera of like, oh, when is he going to lose his powers? How long does he have left? Yada, 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 yada. I mean, it was, and then, he comes back as a White Ranger. I mean, yeah, he basically was the only star of that show. It was really his show. Kind of a dismissing the whole team aspect of this franchise. But, I mean, yeah, see, we'll get into more of the changing of the guard later on.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, it's tough. He made more money than all the other Rangers because he was the most popular. And 3 of the Rangers didn't like that. So, it is what it is, I guess. So, but Mike, I'm coming to you. Give me your thoughts on our Rangers, positive, negative.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with Paul there. I mean, basically, Saban and Shuki Levy, they realized, hey, this Jason David Frank, he's kind of a breakout star here. Let's give him more screen time, and let's give him more money. And I mean, I'm not going to say he wasn't worth it, but I am going to say that maybe things could have been handled a little bit better. That being said, I out of the 3 new Rangers, Rocky was kind of the only one that kind of was like, he's just kind of milquetoast. He really didn't stand out for me.
He was just kind of there, Mike.
Yeah, but Johnny Young Bosch, I really like him, and I've actually met him a couple times. He's a super nice guy, and I really liked Aisha. I thought she added a nice. She added a very nice personality to the group that I don't think they ever fully developed with Trini. I like Trini a lot, as you can tell from our last episode, but I always felt that they never really kind of did much with her. I wanted more.
So I'll definitely get into more of the new Rangers when we talk about White Light. That was the moment that I felt like the entire show flipped. There's one thing that Zordon says now, and oh man, and it pissed me off so much. Even as a kid, it pissed me off so much. So I will get into that when we. But I feel like when they changed over the guard, they the kind of show that they wanted to make, like you said, Paul, like you said, Mike, where they wanted to make Tommy the center focus and everyone else is just there. That's what Rocky was. He was just there. He's just kind of there, bro. I mean, Adam really stood out though. And of course they made they it wasn't a black guy as the Black Ranger anymore, and it wasn't an Asian woman as the Yellow Rangers. So they fixed that apparently, but whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, has anyone ever noticed that? I think it's real that Rocky's character is supposed to be like part Mexican, and he's the Red Ranger.
Yeah, I don't know, man. You can't please everybody. You can't please everybody, but.
Oh wait, you know what? I think that made more sense if you wearing like a sombrero or something. But no, that never happened.
It's just so. But we will definitely talk about that more. But yeah, I mean, look, I think this is my favorite season of MMPR for sure. And I think it's the best, but still a lot of issues that we'll definitely get into. So next up, supporting characters, and 3 of these we don't really need to talk about because we really talked about, unless you guys want to talk about it, of course. Zordon, played by David Felding again. Alpha 5, played by Richard Stephen Horowitz again. And then Ernie, played by Richard Janille. I didn't include Mr. Kaplan or anything because obviously last time, whatever. Like we're talking about the 2 characters I do want to talk about because I feel like they had a major change in season 2 is Bulk and Skull, played by Paul Schreier and Jason Arby. They are definitely supporting characters in season 2, and from season 2 going forward to Lost Galaxy, they are definitely supporting characters. So let us talk about them and just talk about their arc and what you think. So, Paul, go ahead. Give me your thoughts on them.
Well, I don't have too much to say about any of the supporting characters that I didn't say last time, except for Bulk and Skull, and they definitely did get a lot better in season 2. Now that they had like an actual arc, like, we're gonna find out who the Power Rangers are. We're gonna be famous, yada yada. But something that Linkara pointed out when he was doing his history of Power Rangers view is it just me? He didn't really point how he pointed out that the Rangers kind of acted like assholes in their attempts to stop them from figuring out who they were. I mean, I think it would have been cool if they actually like maybe told them and like, hey, you've been making fun of us for being a bunch of goody two shoes, but guess what? We're superheroes. We're doing the right thing. What are you doing with your life, you bunch of bastards? Like, I think that would have been an interesting character, We have them get humiliated like that. I mean, I'd say they're definitely better characters. This Bulk and Skull are definitely better characters this time around, but I mean, I don't know. I think they could have done something a little bit different.
I would love to see that, Paul. They would have never done that in the series, but I would love to see that if they make a new movie, Paulie. And there's a Bulk and Skull character, and they always make fun of him. And they say, "Look, dude, we're superheroes, man. We saved the world. We saved the world so that you losers can live." And I mean, I think that'd be an interesting dynamic for something like that. But anyway, Mike, coming to you. Give me your thoughts. I assume you really only have something to say about Bulk and Skull because we already talked about the other ones. So
yeah, pretty much. I mean, from where Bulk and Skull started as like the stereotypical bullies and the butt of every obvious joke of season 1. I mean, I really like the fact that they obviously the writers realized, hey, guess what? That was kind of stupid. Let's stop it, and let's give them a story arc. I mean, they were still Bulk and Skull, so they were still the butt of a lot of jokes. give it what you will. But I like the fact that they kind of toned down the bully aspect a little bit more and actually made them. They actually gave them a little bit more personality, which I liked a lot. And yeah, I mean, were the Rangers a little bit jerks still? Well, yeah, it depends on the episode, really.
Yeah.
I mean, in basically, they were still kind of the butt of a lot of jokes. Take that what you will, but I do like the fact that they started giving them more dimensions, more fleshed out characters development. It wasn't it wasn't perfect, but it was a start, and it was better than season 1. So, hey, nowhere to go but up.
Yeah, I mean, look, still, yes, they had an arc, per se in this one, right? But I still didn't see them ending up where they ended up in space. Nobody saw that coming. I mean, let's just be real. Nobody saw that coming. But still amazing. Obviously, when we get there, we will talk about it. But next we move on to villains, fellas, and of course the big one, Lord Zed, voiced by the legend himself, Robert Axelrod, and the suit actor I believe was Edwin Neal, if I have that correct. That's what my research told me. Of course, Rita Repulsa, voiced by Barbara Goodson, and the actress that played her was Carla Perez. And then of course Goldar, still voiced by Kerrigan Mahan. Scorpina was in, I believe, 1 or 2 episodes.
One.
She was played by Sabrina Liu. So I just have her in there. And then I also put Wizard of Deception, because he was in there for like 3 episodes. He was voiced by Tony Scott. So yeah. So of course I'm gonna start with Mike. Mike, I'm gonna come to you first. Of course the huge one is Lord Zed, but go wherever you want. So
Well, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, there is no other one besides Lord Zed.
No.
I mean, the second he walks onto the set, he's like, at least I would say about 6 foot tall, or well, they probably made him look a little bit taller, but with that, the Z staff just slamming with a spike on the end, he walked on, just the look, the design of it. I mean, there's no Sentai equivalent.
no.
This is pure American made, and this was probably one of the best things that they did.
In terms of appearance, Mike,
yeah,
maybe not so much storyline, because like Rancic has an amazing storyline, and I
Yes.
think of other ones, but appearance, the best. Okay, and attitude, I would say the first half of the season, the best Power Rangers villain ever. Because he's intimidating, he's scary, he's ruthless. When Rita comes in and gives him the love potion, it gets cartoony, and because he's too scary, he's too scary. We just get the hell out of here with that shit, man. Come on, what are we doing here? Like, seriously. Anyway, sorry. Continue, Mike. Sorry.
No, you're right. I mean, for the first, I would say 80%, maybe 85% of the season, he is evil. He is menacing. He is intimidating. You see him walk on, and you're like, yeah, the Rangers are pretty effed in this case. And yeah, and event, like they do with a lot of their really awesome moments, they kind of screwed up at the end. But for most of the part, he is exactly the kind of villain you were hoping for. And seeing him glow red when he's enraged, that was really cool too.
Right, absolutely. All right, Paul. Yeah, I'm coming to you, man. Give me your thoughts.
Well, I mean, like you guys said, there's really only one to talk about, and that was Lord Zed. One thing that was not pointed out was how intelligent he was as well. As what you see quite often is not only his constant attempts to destroy the Green Ranger power, but a lot of the monsters that he creates are actually based off of items that are of a sentimental value to the Rangers, which makes the battles they fight mean a lot more personal. And I thought that was a very interesting touch that really shows just how sadistic he could be. And I know especially Caleb, you were talking a whole lot of shit about how they toned him down big time after he married Rita. But I'll get into more of this in season 3. He actually, if you really look at it, he actually had better luck with Rita than he did without him. I mean, I'll get to that in season 3, but he actually, even though he may not have been as scary a villain, he might have been a more successful villain. Again, I'll get to that in season 3, but
yeah. Don't make us bring up the Winnebago.
I'm not. I mean, that's for Zio.
I mean, well, when we talk about season 3 next week, we'll definitely get into that, all that stuff. So yeah, look, I just love Lord Zed so much, and his theme, you hear that theme, and it's just so iconic. You're like, oh my god, oh man, this guy just make my skin crawl, and he has a snake that like transforms into a staff, and you're like, yo, oh my god, like I hated the Rita stuff, man. Why is this goofy shit is so unnecessary, man? This is so unnecessary. I don't need this in my life. Look, and you even had to let me have a makeover, and now I'm just totally different person. What? Huh? Like,
I mean, there's only so much of the Sentai footage that they have of, the original actress,
Oh my god. I hated it, man. I hated when she came back, dude. It was so cartoony, man. It was so stupid, but anyway, whatever. It is what it is. It's just so unnecessary. Like, you had an amazing villain. You didn't need all that, but it's like, cool, here's the season 1, here's the season 2. Let's just put them together. Here's season 3, Screw it. Shush. Okay, so we're gonna move on to notable episodes. And the notable episodes that we're gonna start with, because it was on both of your lists, is of course how it all started, the mutiny. So I just want you guys to give me your thoughts, why it was on your list, and all that. So, Paula, I'm coming to you.
Well, I mean, you start off immediately with the entrance of the new villain, and holy shit, does he make an entrance? I mean, first of all, he comes out with this spiritual form, calling Rita, "You have failed. I'm taking over. Make ready for my arrival." And you see him, and the lights just dim, and then suddenly they come up from the ground, and you see this throne with a Z on it, and this guy circling around with this red, like, fleshy exo suit and these silver bones, and just, oh my god, and seeing just Goldar just trembling, which you never saw him do in season 1, and just the way he bosses Rita around like she's nothing. Although, am I the only one who wondered? Well, wait a minute, how is it that Zed's above her if she's an empress of evil? I mean, what's the hierarchy of this going on? I mean, they never really explain that, but I mean, yeah, and you see just how good, intimidating he was, and just how hard a time he gave the Rangers. And then, of course, you see the new Thunder Zords, which just look amazing. I love the Thunder Zord looks to them. So, I mean, yeah, amazing start to this new season. Of course, you have the drama of, how much longer does Tommy have the Green Ranger powers? I mean, you're gonna think he can't support a new Zord. I mean, yeah, amazing start to the season.
Okay, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, exactly like Paula said. I mean, seeing Rita, who had been just the I think she was the self-described Empress of Evil. I think that was the thing. I think nobody else in the evil hierarchy actually called her the Empress of Evil. I think that was just what she called herself. But to see her, who'd been like this force of evil against the Rangers, to see her suddenly trembling in fear. I mean, you knew that what was coming was the next step up. And hell, I even like what was it? The piranha. What was it? What was the monster's name? Piranha Mite?
Something like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when it froze the Megazord, I mean, it was like, yeah. Well, they just pretty much took away. What was it? In one stroke, pretty much just disabled the Power Rangers' most powerful weapon. And not only that, he actually made the putties a lot more dangerous as well. Except the fact that they had an obvious target right now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, come on. Like,
yeah, Zed was kind of an egomaniac.
Yeah, I mean, until they realized that, wait, maybe we should just aim for the big old Z on their chest. Until they figured that out, which took them all about 10 seconds.
Yeah.
The new putties, they do look cool, and they were more threatening, sort of. Okay, whatever. But yeah, I mean, Mutiny was so cool. My biggest issue with the Mutiny, and actually this entire season in general, was you got new Zords. You have a new villain. Why? I kind of get from like just a continuity standpoint why they kept them Mighty Morphin outfits, but dude, switch to the Die Ranger outfits. They're cooler and you sell more toys. I mean, come on.
And to be honest, Mike, you could have shown more cockpit footage.
Yeah. You
could have shown way more footage if you didn't, and you would have saved so much money if you switched it. But like they were like, oh, people are gonna get confused. No one's gonna get confused. It's the same character.
Dude, those Die Ranger outfits are awesome. They're way cooler than the Mighty Morphin.
I would have been like, it's the same people. They just had different suits.
Yeah.
Like when you went to Zeo like 2 years later, nobody was confused.
Yeah.
Nobody was like there was nobody was like, oh, they're different suits. No, like people were more confused when you switched to Turbo for no fucking reason, and you had the Turbo suits when the Zeo powers are more powerful. And anyway, you know what? We'll get there.
Sorry. Anyway, yeah,
I think they might have had an increased budget for the season, so they may have been allowed to get away with it.
So, all right, I'm just gonna go down the line, and we're gonna talk about because you guys have a few more. You guys have one more in common, and then I wrote down a few that I just wanted to give my thoughts on. So, next up, we have this. This came from Paul. So, Paul, I'll just go to you, and if you have any thoughts, Mike. Missing Green, Paul. Why was it on your list? And give me your thoughts.
Well, a big reason why it was on my list is that it really gives a good character development for Jason because you see them like blaming him. This is right after Tommy's completely lost the Green Ranger power. The Green Ranger is gone. And you see how much it's hurting Jason. Like, he's blaming himself because he sees it as his fault. If he had stopped the green candle from burning at the end of season 1, this wouldn't have happened. Tommy would still be the Green Ranger. So you see him almost being tortured by this guilt that he's going through. And admittedly, that's something I can't recall them ever really doing much before this. Is seeing a Ranger really feel guilty about failing. Like, damn it, I fucked up so badly. And then just to see, Tommy at the end saying, hey, listen, I know you're blaming yourself, Jason, but don't. I'm all right. And that was, it's a shame that those two hate each other so much in real life, but I thought that was great character for Jason, and I thought that was a nice exchange, letter exchange.
Can I just, okay. I know it's a TV show and you get this when you're asleep. How the fuck did Lord Zed get 4 candles from the other Rangers when you're supposed to touch the candles in order for them to be able to take your power away?
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that part.
Yeah. I'm just saying. That made no fuck. Polly, I love the episode. Because look, it's a Jason episode, and you know how much I love Jason. You know how much I love it. I mean, the episode is amazing. It's his last great episode, of course. So yeah, I mean, I love it. So, Mike, any thoughts on Missing Green?
No, I liked it a lot. Even back then I was like, well, where'd the candles get? Whatever. It's a plot loophole, but whatever. The core story of the episode was solid. I also really liked Austin St. John's Jason. He was my favorite. Well, except for Billy, he was my second favorite one from the main cast. And yeah, I mean, it was nice to see him actually kind of taking responsibility for his. I don't want to say his shortcomings, because I mean, it wasn't. He really had an impossible choice to make, but it was still nice that there were consequences that he had to deal with, and that's something you don't often see in Power Rangers, at least not Power Rangers season 1, 2, or 3. It was basically just, oh yeah, we're gonna beat the bad guy. Yeah, we won. There was never really any, we did this, so this happens that we've got to deal with. That didn't happen very often, so it was nice to see a real hard look at that.
Okay.
And seeing the friendship between those two. I don't know. I've heard back and forth, like some rumors say that they hate each other. Other rumors say, yeah, they're okay now. But
I hope they're okay. I really do. So I'm just gonna skip around. So I just took one from Paul's, and I'm gonna go down to Mike's because I want to talk about this so bad because I talked about it a little earlier. White Light. Look, I'm just gonna go off on this one, Mike. I will definitely go to you next. Woo!
Yeah. Elijah likes it. Good job, nephew.
I love White Light. I really do. I love the White Ranger. I love his introduction. I love the monster. I think the monster's awesome. Why the fuck does just because Tommy becomes the White Ranger, why is he the leader all of a sudden?
Yeah, I knew you'd be bringing that one up.
That line, I'll never get over that line. Are you happy with the new leader of the power team? What? Huh? Wait a minute.
Yeah, like what's so special about the White Ranger power that may now make him the leader?
Hold the fucking phone, bruh. This guy, Jason, has led you for probably a year and a half, and fuck him, bro. He's just not important anymore. That was the last straw. I guarantee you that's why they all left.
I'm fairly certain they were. I'm fairly certain they were heading out the door before that episode. So that's why.
That was a big fuck you to Austin St. John. That was a giant fuck you to Austin St. John. And I hate that line so much. I cannot believe that they actually went there. So anyway, sorry, Mike, that was on your list. So go ahead.
Yeah, no. I agree that line and that whole switch of leadership, that always bugged me. Even watching that the first time, I was like, I like Tommy and all, and those the White Ranger powers are cool. That suit is awesome. I love the Tiger Zord. Sabra's cool. How does that make him leader? Whatever. But beyond that, though, I mean, the Tiger Zord is hands awesome. Down. I mean, that one and the Dragon Zord are actually two of my all-time favorite Zords. So yeah, and yeah, like the White Ranger suit, I think looks cool because they took it from Die Ranger, and those Die Ranger suits, as I said, are awesome looking. I don't know why they didn't go with them, but whatever. And I mean, right from the end of the first episode, where Billy finds that door of light and he goes down and he sees them creating the new White Ranger. I'm like, wait. We're getting another Ranger, a white one. Whoa. That moment I will always remember in my mind because it was pretty darn cool. The effect of the white door notwithstanding. But yeah, seeing him deal with the monster and seeing the white Tiger Zord in action, that was cool. The fact that they kind of were just not so subtly brushing Austin, Walter, and T aside. Yeah. It's my biggest issue with the episode. But beyond that, I love those that two-parter.
Absolutely. It just look, it's really good, and it's nice that the White Ranger suit looks so much like the Zoo Ranger suits that you can like get away with it, like standing next to them, and you're not like, that's not the same season. But I mean, obviously now, like, we know it's not the same season, but they look very similar. So
yeah.
Paul, any thoughts on White Light?
I mean, Caleb, we talk quite often about how, even whether half joking, half serious, how JDF seems to have a bad habit of sucking Saban's dick all the time. Well, White Light kind of made you want. Was it the other way around at that point? Was Saban sucking JDF's dick? Because the way he ascends from on high as the White Ranger first time, like, okay, whose ego's getting inflated here? Like, what the hell? But it was a fun episode. I enjoyed it a lot. But yeah, you do that. Tommy becoming the leader, that was a giant fu to the other three. And I think that was the first episode where I really started to notice the god awful voice substitutes, which we'll talk about, which I'm sure we'll talk about a little later. But that was really the first time I noticed it. I'm like, wait, what?
I mean,
all right, now
they not have voice. Oh, I don't know. I feel like they were still there for this episode, obviously, and
they were still there. They just refused to do the audio dub. They just refused to do.
Can I just tell you? I just remembered this, man. I'm seeing that scene in my mind. You guys remember after they say, "Ooh, the New Rangers Power Team," and Austin goes, "This is great. This is great." And you can tell he's so pissed off. Like, you can tell he's so mad. He's like, "What the fuck just happened? Like, what in the world just happened? I don't understand." So that's always stuck with me, guys. That's the number one thing about that episode. I love the episodes. That's just the number one thing that's always stuck with me about that. So I'm going to take one off my list, and my list is way different than you guys' because a lot of these episodes are just so goofy. And my pick was Rocky Just Wants to Have Fun.
That I will always remember seeing that episode and always thinking, what the hell is this going on?
A pachinko machine. A pachinko machine.
I mean, I didn't even know what a pachinko machine was at the time, but just seeing the Red Ranger go on around like, like, what the fuck?
It's so goofy. It's so good. I love it so much. Look, it's so goofy. It's so weird. It's like, this doesn't even make sense, but I love it. Do you guys have any thoughts on it? Either of you?
No.
I've already given my thoughts on it.
That was not a good first Rocky-centric episode. Like, kind of set a low bar for the guy,
And talk about
once he became the Red Ranger, he never really got a lot of growth as a character, even though there were opportunities for it. But I'll get into that in Zeo with one of my big pet peeves.
I mean, and you talk about Rangers being dicks, Paul. He was a major dick to your boy Billy, man, for real. But anyway, so next up, where I'm gonna shift back up to Paul's list, and we have Beauty and the Beast. So, Paul, why is this on your list, and why?
Okay, it's not my list for a number of reasons. Well, actually, there's really only one. I know that Caleb, you give a lot of shit about what Rita did to Zed, but if you look at that scene, I mean, when Lord Zed looks at Kimberly like, she'd be a good queen. Goldar, go get her. Do you remember how Goldar dressed her up? I imagine it came down orders from Zed. She got in Rita's dress. So even before that spell, Zed's ideal woman was kind of Rita. But what stands out is just how insanely good Amy Jo Johnson was at channeling Barbara Cookson.
It was actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. It was actually
scary, actually, how good it was, and I just love the way she just ranted on it.
I mean, to be fair,
that was awesome. That was gold. Well done, my girl. Well done, Amy Jo. Well done.
To be fair, there probably wasn't a whole lot of women's clothing around the Moon Palace, so they kind of had to go with what they had, and they had Rita's closet. Rita never really had much more than the one outfit, so.
Right, absolutely. So
yeah, that's why it's on my list. I just freaking love that.
Absolutely. So, Mike, any other thoughts other than that, or no?
Nah, I mean, it was goofy, but it was fun seeing Amy Jo just completely hamming it up.
Yep. All right. So the next one is on Mike's list. The power transfer. So this, I feel like after this episode, real quick, I feel like the season really like picked up, because there was a time when there was only 3 Rangers. There was literally only 3 Rangers for a while. It felt like so, but after the power transfer, I feel like things picked up. So, Mike, why is this on your list?
Well, I mean, for one, it was the first time we'd seen the power. This is the first time we saw new Rangers. Since Tommy notwithstanding. So that was kind of cool. We did have only 3 Rangers because Austin,
Walter and Dewey
were gone. They were. You didn't see their actors other than very poor stunt doubles that you saw from the behind
or stock footage.
Yeah, and their suit actors were dubbed in the
terrible voice actors, terrible dubs.
Did they even try to voice match it, or were they like, you're a guy, go and voice for Red Ranger now?
The worst one. I don't know if you remember this. The Thus that they did for Zordon. What are we gonna do? That doesn't even sound like her. Literally does not sound a thing. Oh, it's so bad, dude. You're
right. It's like a stereotypical Asian woman who speaks broken English, but anyone with half a brain knew that Dewey Trank's English was excellent, if not perfect. So, like, good lord, dude, are they trying to insult us? I mean, even a 4-year-old could figure out that wasn't Trini.
That's another reason why I like the power transfer so much, is because we could finally get rid of all that bullshit and nonsense. It was obvious that those 3 weren't there. This kind of just made it obvious, made it concrete, official, yeah. And now we could actually have the full Ranger team again. It was so bad that when the power was transferred, we had 2 Red Rangers, 2 Yellow Rangers, and 2 Black Rangers, because they didn't even have the Austin, Tui, and Walter there to be not in their suits. So you had to double the suits because there was no other choice. Stupid choices all the way around leading up to it, but this was kind of like Band-Aid being ripped off, and now we can let it heal, and now we can go back to the adventures that we want to see, where all of the Rangers are together and not some stupid dub voices.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, Paul, any thoughts on the power transfer?
Well, I mean, I don't know if this is like the first time we see it, but this is the first time we really see the power that Zed Zord has, Serpentera. I remember seeing it the first time. I'm like, oh, snap! this is going to be a problem until we find out later that it runs on AAA batteries.
Yeah,
And
AA batteries though. I mean, make sure you got lots of AA batteries.
yeah, and you know, I do. You know, I never had a problem with Rocky, Adam, and Aisha, and over time I did grow to like Adam a lot. But I don't know. A part of me kind of wishes that they'd found a way to keep Austin, Walter, and Dewey on, so that way I think that would have been an interesting dynamic having Rocky, Adam, and Aisha not become Rangers. It's kind of like helping them on the side. I think that would have made interesting. I think that would have made for some interesting storyline. Maybe there could be an element of like resentment that grows on, hey, we're doing this, but we're not Power Rangers. What's going on? I don't know. I mean, like I said, I like the characters in time, especially Adam, but I don't know. I do wish there was a way they could have kept the original three and just not made them Rangers.
All right, absolutely. Absolutely. I can say next power transfer. Next up, the next one on Mike's list is also the one of yours on your list, Paul. So we're just gonna go over that because the rest of mine, I have Green No More, Goldar's Vice Versa, Rangers Back in Time, and Wild West Rangers. So, just a lot of two-parters and random episodes. So next up, I want to talk about the wedding. I mean, we have to talk about this. This is one of the biggest, things that's happened ever in Power Rangers. So, I was on Mike. So, Mike, I'm going to start with you first, and then Paulie, I'll go to you as to why it's on your list. So, Mike, start us off on the wedding.
Yeah, I mean, we get the triumphant return of Rita. And, obviously they had to recast it because they didn't have any more Sentai footage to use, especially not of her interacting with Zed. But I thought the the American casting of Rita was pretty good, and I thought she looked nice, actually. If Zed wasn't marrying her, I would be thinking, what's wrong with Zed? Because she was quite beautiful and attractive.
Oh yes, I'd hit that.
I do like the fact that this was like kind of just Zed was still evil in this episode. He hadn't started his kind of cartoonish downward spiral just yet. And having them actually combine their powers, I actually thought it was pretty effective. And they were, at least at the start, they were a serious threat to the Power Rangers. And I really liked where it started, where it eventually led to, not so much, but I do like how they were trying something new. Caleb,
Yeah, I mean, it's hard because it's different, and I just hate because like you said, I hate because I know where it ends up, where I know where it goes, and of course when we get into season 3, we'll definitely talk about that more. But Paul, the wedding was also on your list, so give me your thoughts on it and why it was on your list.
All right. Well, I mean, aside from what Mike said, and I agree with, yeah, the payoff was pretty bland because you get hyped up like this massive battle between the two Megazords and a bunch of monsters. Only realize they're just fighting an army of stock footage. But what makes this three-parter stand out to me? What makes this three-parter stand out to me really is Evil Alpha. Holy shit, I love Evil Alpha so much. He's corny, he's over the top, but he's almost like a dick attitude to holy shit. This is what he does to Zordon, giving him this mustache and messing with the Rangers.
I mean,
not laughing.
Like, it's some of Richard Stephen Horowitz, some of his best work, man. He was
I agree 100%. I love
so good
Evil Alpha so much.
Oh man,
Evil Alpha is the best.
All right, cool. So that was one. That was the fourth one off Mike's list. Oh, I have the last one on your list, Paulie, which is the ninja encounter. Get out of here. Bye.
Hi, Life. Oh, come on, I want to say hi to my nephew.
We have the hello. He's supposed to be asleep, but it's obviously
Elijah, go to bed.
I have the light on, so he's not going to go to bed. But anyway, so we have the ninja encounter, Paulie, which of course introduces us to our 3 future Rangers. So, Paulie, why is that why it's on your list? If not,
Well,
why?
not that, but I mean, first of all, the way they make their entrance, with them and the 3 Rangers chasing after that baby carrot, I thought that was a damn impressive, coordination and movements, impressive action sequence. I also loved how they established these guys as like a proficient martial artist, which I thought was important, and then the constant turmoil of the Ranger having to try to go rescue them, but again getting pulled back because they got to fight a monster, and the tension, like, oh my god, are they gonna save these guys in time? The resourcefulness of Rocky and each trying to break out on their own, and then I was not expecting them to actually find out that their new best friends were the Power Rangers, and I liked how they handled it, and I liked how Zordon kind of brought him into the fold. Like, hey, listen, you're the only people who know this, so I mean, I need your help here. Keep this secret, but in return, we'll help you out. So yeah, a very effective 3-parter. And you want to talk Bulk and Skull's development? Let's not forget that I think it was Bulk who tried to jump in and save the baby as well. So that kind of gives you a glimpse into what the hero becomes.
Can we just talk about that baby carrot scene
and characters?
Can we just talk about that baby carrot scene, Paul, and how goofy that was?
It's goofy, yes, but it was also
come on, bro. Like, no, like, I mean, it's just so over the top. But anyway, it's still, I mean, it's whatever. So, Mike, any thoughts on the ninja encounter?
No, I mean, you guys covered it pretty well. I thought it was effective introduction of the 3 future Rangers. And yeah, I mean, it was nice to see 3 people who weren't Zordon and Alpha finally find out who the Rangers were. I mean, it was nice to actually have someone, allies on the inside.
Right. Absolutely. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize.
You want to be part of the show.
All right. Last one that we're gonna talk about.
You got a single man right there with a fuck kid.
Last one that we're gonna talk about is the last one on Mike's list, and that is Return of the Green Ranger. I love this 3-parter, of course. I love when they introduce like secondary villains, like how they had like Lokar in the first season, and this one is the Wizard of Deception. And I thought he was a great character. I thought it was kind of cheap how they ended it, but anyway, I'll let you explain like why it's on your list, everything. So go ahead.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, it was the White versus the Green Ranger. I mean, it was the 2 forms of Tommy. One was created from evil, one was created from pure good. And it was nice to see that kind of like that dichotomy of Tommy, having to face down the fact that, yeah, his power, his original, the reason he is the reason he is a Power Ranger is because he worked for Rita Repulsa. He was an evil person for 5 episodes. But it was nice to see him, have to confront that fact. And, and yeah, I mean, obviously, like we were saying, this season, it became like the JDF show. But I mean, that being said, from where he started in season 1, I think JDF, he showed some acting skills in this episode, in this season, in these episodes in particular. That, I mean, yeah, he's no Sir Laurence Olivier, but as far as like a kids TV show based on a kind of a cheesy Sentai series, is he showed some range that I wasn't expecting to see. So that's why these 3 are on my list.
All right, Paul. Any thoughts on Return of the Green Ranger?
I mean, let's just be honest. That the Green Ranger versus the White Ranger. That was what we've been waiting for ever since Tommy became the White Ranger. Like we had a feeling, at some point this is probably going to happen, and by God did they deliver. That was one of the best and most well choreographed fights that I had ever seen, and certainly in Power Rangers early days, if not in the entire history of the franchise. I mean, have seen some better fights, but not that many. That is definitely up there. And then of course it's sad because it could have been a lot more, but seeing the Dragon Zord versus the Tiger Zord, even though it's obvious that they're not actually on screen together, it's stock footage, but I mean, that could have been one hell of a battle right there.
Absolutely,
so,
absolutely.
Well done.
All right, well, that's everything we got. Do you guys have any last minute thoughts that you would like to bring up before we end it for the night?
Can't wait to get into season 3.
Season 3, I think, gonna be a little. It's definitely the worst season in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. But we'll definitely see. So I want to thank Paul for being here. Paul, thank you.
Oh, it was a pleasure. It's nice to be able to talk about the show with you guys. I've been waiting all week for it. That's all I can think about today.
Yeah. All right. And Mike, thank you for being here.
Hey, great being here, and talking about a show that, love it or hate it, it is an important show.
Definitely, it's definitely ingrained in pop culture. I mean, you just can't avoid it. So, guys, I'm Caleb. Thanks for watching. Hope you're enjoying. And let us know your thoughts on season 2 of MMPR. So we're gonna sign off for the night. Have a good one.
Peace.